So how does somebody win? In Canada, we use a system called first past the post. And the easiest way to think about it is just like a race. In every riding, you have a bunch of candidates competing.
Welcome back to another reaction
video.
A Canadian reaction video. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you for clicking on this video.
Yeah.
Today we are learning about how the Canadian government works.
Ooh, that sounds like really interesting.
We want to know how your government works. Okay.
Is it going to be talking about like the other video you said about how one country is being categorized?
Yeah, like the various segments of our administrative units, right?
Yeah.
But it's not really administrative units, like how is the government divided, which part of government is responsible for what and things like that. Because I think Canada does not have a president, and then they have some link to the British royal family and things like that. Yeah, so we really need to find out. So you know what? Let's find out.
Yeah, in the course of it, I think we'll be telling them our own that we know.
Yeah, we'll explain how our own government works.
Hey everyone, welcome. We're going to jump right in and break down how the Canadian government actually works.
Okay.
I know, it can seem kind of complicated, but stick with me and by the end of this quick guide, you'll totally get it. Okay, let's be real. Does the government ever feel like this big, confusing machine that's completely disconnected from your life? Yeah, I get it.
Right?
The word itself can sound a bit boring or just way over our heads. But here's the secret. The most important thing to know from the get-go. You're actually
I think sometimes you feel like you don't even need the government for anything.
Honestly, like here, I mean, for Canadians, you guys need your government, okay? It affects your life every day. You see it, you feel it, and everything else. But you know what? For us, I don't have the government help me with anything. But maybe they do like civil defense and things like that. But I'm not getting benefiting. No employment, no good, no health facilities. Yeah, just there. You literally just exist. Yeah.
very center of it all.
Even when health is not properly given, it's still expensive.
Nobody faces any consequences for anything. The people is in fact a licentious community, to say a minimum.
Thing to know from the get-go. You're actually at the very center of it all. Seriously, the whole system is built around one single powerful idea, that you get a say. That's it. That's democracy. It's all founded on the principle that
how do we define democracy?
Democracy, government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Did you say it correctly? The government
of the people, by the people, and for the people. Yeah.
I don't know if that's how Canadians see their own.
It's a universal definition, but Canadians, I think they practice more democracy than we do here, like by far. But anyways, I know that there's always some level to it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there's some level to it that is in the background. In people that are not voted into office wield more power than they should. You know, there are people that you even vote for that you have literally been influenced to vote for those people. And you might not even know. Maybe it's just information warfare, propaganda and things like that. So
that you get a say. That's it. That's democracy. It's all founded on the principle that your voice, your opinion, is what matters most. Now, democracy isn't some one-size-fits-all deal. There are different ways to run the show, so let's dig into the specific type that Canada chose. So, at its core, democracy is about the people ruling. The basic idea is majority rules. Whatever most people want, that's what happens. But, and this is super important, it's not a free-for-all. A real democracy also has to protect the rights of the minority. It's this constant balancing act, Okay, but let's think about this for a second. There are nearly 40 million people in Canada. How on earth could we all vote on every single law? Can you imagine the chaos? Just trying to get everyone to agree on what to order for pizza is hard enough. Plus, we've all got stuff to do, right? And that's where we see the two main flavors of democracy. On the one side, you've got direct democracy. This is where literally every citizen votes on every single issue. Cool idea, and it kind of worked for smaller groups like in ancient Athens, but for a massive country like Canada, no way. That's why we use representative democracy. We choose people to represent us to make those big decisions for us. It's their job. So we've established we elect people to make decisions. But Canada is a huge, diverse place. To manage a country this big, it just makes sense to share the power. So we've split the government into 3 different levels.
Okay.
This whole setup is what's known as a federal system. Let's break down who's in charge of what. At the very top, you have the federal government. This is led by the Prime Minister, and they handle the big picture, national stuff. Think the military, our money, dealing with other countries. Then you've got the provincial government, led by a premier. They're focused on things like your school and your healthcare.
What do they mean by a premier?
A premier.
Premier.
Hold on. A
Is
premier
that in
is a
English or in
governor.
French?
Hold on. It's a governor. Hold on.
They're focused on things like your school and your healthcare.
Hold on.
And then military, our money, dealing with other countries. Then you've got the provincial government, led by a premier. They're focused on things like your school and your healthcare. And then closest to home is the municipal government, led by a mayor. They're responsible for the stuff you see every single day, like garbage pickup, local parks, and libraries. So what does this mean for you when it's your turn to vote? Well,
So you have the federal government, you have the provincial government, and then you have
The municipal.
municipal government.
Yes.
For us, we have the government led by the president. Yeah,
Then
and then
second
you have
prime minister, right?
the prime minister is the second, who is supposed to represent replace the government. Though you got the president, though this year they voted to put the
Vice president.
the vice president, who is actually the president's son. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, and then after you have regional government, which are led by the governor, appointed by the government, appointed by the president. The president literally appoint the governor to lead the region, to lead the regions. That means if the governor says anything out of line, you are sacked
You're fired.
and you could possibly be disappeared. 2, you have
That should be the third word.
these are administrative units, right?
Okay.
Under the legislative, the executive arm of the government.
Yes.
Under the executive, you have the president, the governor, divisional officers, sub-divisional officers, and mayors, right? These mayors also serve to vote for people in the parliament. We don't vote directly for members of parliament. It is the
Yes.
mayors that vote for members of parliament. Yes. So members of our parliament are voted in by the mayors. And so we have the executive led by the president, the legislative led by the House of Assembly.
Yes.
We call it House of Assembly. And then we have the judiciary led by the Supreme Court. That is the judiciary here. So, yeah.
I think we have like a whole lot of like to analyze how the government works.
Yeah, so when it comes to administrative units, right?
Yeah, because you have to differentiate them into legislative, judiciary, and secretariat. This secretariat.
And executive.
Executive.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and then now under legislative, we have the lower house of assembly and upper house of assembly. The lower house of assembly is just called house of assembly, and the upper house is called the Senate. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's complicated.
Them complicated. Then which one makes law, which one execute the laws, and then which one sees into either the law is there.
So for us,
It's maintained.
I think it's basically the same thing with Canada. The House of Assembly, which is the legislative, which is the legislative arm, makes the laws. Then
Executive.
the executive makes sure that those laws are upheld, and then the judiciary interprets the law. And then, like through judicial means, people are convicted or acquitted, right? Yeah. So it's almost the same thing with Canada. It's just that their own is a bit different because did not hear about the legislative arm of government. Let's hear about it.
For you when it's your turn to vote. Well, you'll actually be voting in 3 totally different elections. You'll vote for a member of parliament, or MP, who goes to Ottawa to represent you at the federal level. You'll also vote for a member of the Legislative Assembly, an MLA, for the provincial level. And finally, you'll vote for a councillor to represent you right here at City Hall. Okay, so we've elected all these people. What do they actually do? Well, one of their biggest and most important jobs is making laws. So let's follow the journey of how a simple idea becomes an official law that affects every single one of us. Every law starts as just an idea. And honestly, that idea can come from anyone. It could come from you, from a local group, or from a political party. As soon as that idea gets written down into a formal proposal for a new law, we call it a bill. All right, so turning a bill into a law is definitely a journey, not a sprint. First up, it goes to the House of Commons. That's where all the MPs you elected debate it, talk about the pros and cons, and then vote. If it passes, it moves to a smaller group, a committee, for a closer look. They really get into the details, listen to experts, and can even suggest changes. We call those amendments. After that, it has to go back for another vote in the House. And it's still not done. It then heads over to the Senate for a very similar process of debate and voting. Only if the exact same version of the bill passes in both places does it move to the final step, royal assent. That's when the Governor General signs it, and poof, it's officially a law. So this whole lawmaking machine depends entirely on one thing.
Not the Prime Minister signs it into law. It's the Governor General that signs a bill into law.
Maybe that's how they do it in Canada.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly how they do it. Because I thought it was the Prime Minister that is going to sign it into law.
Yes.
But it's the Governor General. That's why.
But
bro.
before he signed it, the Prime Minister should look into it. Because I feel like he should give the final say.
I feel like Canada's government is more complicated than I thought.
Officially a law. So this whole lawmaking machine depends entirely on one thing, who we pick to run it. And that brings us right back to the most powerful tool you have as a citizen, your vote in an election. So, for a federal election, the country is split up into a bunch of different geographic areas. Each one is called a riding, and if you're a voter living in that area, you're called a constituent. Your job as a constituent is to vote for one person to represent your riding as its member of parliament, or MP. So how does somebody win? In Canada, we use a system called first past the post. And the easiest way to think about it is just like a race. In every riding, you have a bunch of candidates competing. The one who gets to the finish line first, meaning gets more votes than any other single person, wins. That's it. They don't need to get more than half the votes, just the most. And they win the seat. Now, this is a super important point about how our system works. We don't actually vote for the Prime Minister directly. It's not like a separate election. What happens is, we vote for our local MP. The political party that wins the most seats or ridings across the entire country, that's the party that gets to form the government. And the leader of that party automatically becomes the Prime Minister. This first-past-the-post system can create a pretty weird situation, sometimes called an artificial majority. Just look at this chart here. A party might only get, say, 39% of all the votes cast across the whole country. That's the popular vote. But because of how they won in
I think I've forgotten. I don't know if you can remember the way that the US vote.
Electoral college.
Yeah.
They use electoral college.
And then to a certain extent, there are some people that don't always want it. And I also remember I did not used to like the way that their food was being done.
But I don't know. Even at that, people don't get to directly vote their Prime Minister in Canada. You vote MPs, and those MPs choose a leader. That means the Prime Minister can resign from a party, but the next person will be from that very party. That the Prime Minister can resign today, there will be no general election in the country. Only these MPs will choose another Prime Minister. Is that
From among the MPs.
yes?
So it's understandable now.
It's understandable, but it's not something I've heard before. You understand?
Yeah.
People, citizens, don't directly vote the Prime Minister. Because just because you support a particular party doesn't mean you support everybody in that party or anybody in that party. The Prime Minister can be in the same party with you but not having the same ideas as you.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. So I feel like you could support a particular candidate who has campaigned saying the same thing, saying the things that you really want to hear, and promising the same things you want to be promised. Because I cannot say doing the things you want, because politicians are 99.99% promise.
You can always say we're promising.
Yeah, they're good
The
at
things
word
you
of
want
mouth.
to hear.
But anyways, it's also interesting, right? It keeps the government functional, which means that a party could change somebody who is not working, right? Not like we are hooked on one person. It means if said a particular person is not working and the party find out that other person is not doing their job, they can
Change it.
change that person. They do a
Yeah.
vote of no confidence, and that person is either sent out or the person resigns.
Which I choose to a certain extent is good.
It's good. It's kind of sheer thing, but I don't know how to feel about it because I'm not familiar to it. And then their own is not about getting above 50% of the vote. The highest person with the highest vote you take, whether you are just 20% and the rest are less than 20%.
And then one thing also is that you don't have to, like, there's not like a certain amount of years you're expected to roll. Means that if you don't roll very well, you go down.
In Canada,
Yes.
that the
Like-
prime minister, there's a time they hold their election every 4 years, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but
There's
the prime minister can live as long as possible.
Yes, and then you can also within that or before that 4 years, you can go down if you are not doing what is good.
Yeah, but your party will retain that chair.
Yes.
But within the 4 years now, they will do general election in the country. And that general election is voting MPs. Any party that has more MPs
Yes.
decide the prime minister, and the leader of that party becomes the prime minister. It's way more complicated.
Really complicated. I thought our own was complicated.
Yeah. So how does your judicial system work then? Do you have federal judges or you only have provincial judges and things like that? Because, say for example, a place like Quebec, you have their governor. So how would a federal judge pass a law, give an order that affect the whole Quebec, Manitoba, and different places? Then they also have judges that are only for Quebec. I don't know, like it's because
If they decide to give judges that are only for Quebec, it means that they have to give it judges that are only for all the other provinces.
because there are provincial judges that they only deal with that province, because each province have their own parliament, right?
Yeah.
They have their own senate, so they run a whole government in each province. So there should be also a judicial system in that government, because you have the legislative, which is the governor. You have the you have the legislative, which is the senate, the house, which is the House of Commons, and
Yeah.
the senate. And then you also have the executive. So there should be the judiciary too in each province.
Yeah. I think that's like kind of sharing of, how did they say, the decentralization.
Federalization.
Yeah. Okay. Sharing of power,
Yeah.
which makes work easier.
But then you have federal judges. I don't know how it works, because here we don't have those provincial governments. There's nothing like a senate or anything in the level of the provinces or the regions.
Which makes things really tougher. It could even be one of the reasons we're having crisis.
Yeah, you have the government. The government appoint all the judges to all the courts around the country. Nothing. Directly, all the laws come from central government. Everybody takes it, deal with it. If you don't want it, how about you go to the bush?
Specific ridings, they could end up with over half of the seats in Parliament. This means a party can get full majority power even when most Canadians actually voted for someone else. And as you can probably guess, this is a really hot topic.
Yeah,
It's a big
very
reason why
hot.
people are always debating whether Canada should change its voting system.
Oh no.
Okay, wow.
But wait, that is almost like the American electoral
Yeah,
college,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Where
yeah,
a
yeah.
person can get majority of the vote, but still
Beaten down.
still not be president.
Yes.
So it means that the person that gets to produce the prime minister is the country with the highest seats in government. That's all. Whether a province voted more or not, that one is not the main concern.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. I don't know. But honestly, let the majority
Until she
vote.
says it's a very hot topic.
Anyway.
A very hot topic, because people will be like really debating as
Yeah,
to
imagine
why.
that 20 million people voted for somebody, and somebody with Will
Let's just
19
say,
million end up winning?
like,
It's crazy, right?
so what was the need of the vote now? Like, it's really
It's
crazy.
crazy.
It can be really hot.
But anyways, family, honestly, we don't want to inject ourselves into your politics. We're just pondering because, well, we deal with it already. So I don't want anybody to go. If you want to send us a video, it should be exclusively how the Canadian government works and more explained.
Yeah, I think over here we don't practice that, but at the end, at the end of the counting, things go south.
No, we don't worry. I always say that I don't bother voting in my country because I know who the next
Who they pray?
president. Yeah, we know who the next president is, and
Because
so I
no
don't have to
matter
vote.
how you vote, the vote will still be seen high even when it does not deserve to be. So what they should have just implemented that system here, such that we can know that no, it's not about the
They
number
cannot
of votes.
implement anything here that does not give all the power to one person. It doesn't work here. I don't even bother voting. Never voted. I'm not even planning to vote. I would never vote.
How can you say that?
Why would you vote if you know the next president? If I know that my candidate will win, why would I vote? And if I know that my candidate will lose, why would I vote? There's no need because there's a person that's already going to win the next few
Election.
elections. So there's no need.
And then they'll be walking around disturbing people.
I don't
Go vote, go to this school and vote, go this way.
It's crazy.
Hot topic. It's a big reason why people are always debating whether Canada should change its voting system. Okay, wow, that was a lot, I know, but you hung in there. Let's do a super quick recap of the most important things to remember. All right, here's the highlight reel. Number 1, Canada is a representative democracy with 3 levels of government: federal, provincial, and municipal. Number 2, we elect people to make laws for us. Number 3, laws start out as ideas called bills that have to pass through the House of Commons and the Senate. And finally, number 4, our election system is first past the post, where the person with the most votes in a riding wins the seat. Okay, quick pop quiz to see what's stuck. First question, if you wanted to talk to someone about your local library or the park down the street, which level of government would you go to? Think about it. That's the municipal government. Awesome. Okay,
Which
question.
level will you go to? It's the last one. The municipal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That should be the level you go to. In Canada.
For us, there's no level that you go to.
I will say shifting from.
Or the park down the street, which level of government would you go to? Think about it. That's the municipal government. Awesome. Okay, question number 2.
Also,
What's the
you
name
should
for
have
a
clapped me.
proposal for a new law
It's called a
before
bill.
it actually becomes a law?
It's a bill.
Yep, you got it. It's a bell.
Yeah.
A bell.
Yeah, it might seem complicated when you first look at it, but the whole point of the system, from start to finish, is you. Understanding how it all fits together is the absolute first step to making your voice heard. And now, you know how it works.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, everyone.
Thank you so much. I've learned a bit more than I knew, but I would like to learn more about the Canadian government.
Yeah. I think we need to learn more.
I think the video is quite short.
Yeah, it's quite short. And
Yeah,
we need to really learn more of it.
thank you so much. Teach us more in the comment section. I would like to learn.
Links to videos
Yeah.
too.
We love you so much.